Right now, Cambium Networks, ticker CMBM, is trading at $1.695, and it is on an absolute tear, up $1.77, or just over 174% on staggering volume. The high for the day so far has been $2.45, with a low of $1.58. This isn't just unusual. It's a complete repricing of a company that, frankly, most of the market had left for dead. If you're looking at this on your scanner, your first expectation is probably a reverse split, a massive short squeeze, or maybe a buyout. The reality is something far more interesting, and for anyone still holding this stock, a complete narrative reset. This isn't an acquisition, this is a lifeline. Cambium just announced a deep technical integration with Starlink. Yes, that Starlink. This stock, which was trading yesterday at $0.61 on the verge of being delisted from the Nasdaq for failing to hold the $1 minimum bid, just attached its wagon to one of the most significant growth stories in telecommunications. Let's establish the common ground here, the expectation that everyone had about Cambium Networks until about 5 hours ago. This was a dead stock walking. This company's all-time high was over $64 back in 2021. Its 52-week low was a catastrophic $0.23. The company was hemorrhaging value. Recent earnings reports were bleak, citing slowing customer spending and channel inventory logjams. Insiders were selling shares. It was non-compliant with its exchange. If you were a self-investing individual, maybe scrolling through SoFi Stocks or the Robinhood app, you would have seen CMBM and correctly identified it as a value trap, a falling knife you never ever try to catch. Even the professional analysts who still had buy ratings with price targets of $5 or $7 looked foolish. The market was pricing this for bankruptcy, not a recovery. This stock was so toxic that automated Schwab Intelligent Portfolios or any Fidelity wealth management service wouldn't have touched it with a 10-foot pole. It was purely in the realm of deep value speculators, the kind of position you'd only manage on a professional-grade setup like the Interactive Brokers trading platform, and even then, it was a gamble. Then, this morning's press release hit. This isn't just a marketing agreement. Cambium has deeply integrated its Cambium One network solution with Starlink's satellite internet services. What this means in plain English is that Cambium software and hardware, specifically its CMA/Cloud Management System and Network Service Edge, or NSE, can now manage, optimize, and secure Starlink connections for enterprise customers. This is the absolute key. Starlink provides massive bandwidth in remote locations, but for a business, a school, or a government agency, a raw internet pipe isn't enough. They need security, they need reliability, and they need to manage it. Cambium's solution now provides all of that. It allows an IT administrator to use a single dashboard to manage a multi-WAN setup, combining multiple Starlink links for more speed or for failover. It provides visibility into the Starlink dish itself, things like alignment, latency, and throughput, and even allows for a remote reboot, saving a trip to a remote site. It adds an application-aware firewall, DNS filtering for compliance, and, most critically, adaptive queue management. This means it can prioritize real-time traffic like a Zoom call over a large file download, making a satellite link stable enough for business-critical applications. This news fundamentally alters the reality of Cambium's position. It has instantly transformed from a Me Too networking company failing to compete with larger players into a critical enabling partner for enterprise-grade satellite internet. It's a picks and shovels play on the Starlink ecosystem. This is why the stock didn't just go up 20%, it went up 170% and at its peak over 300% in the pre-market. The market is violently repricing the company's future from zero to something. That $2.45 gap up was the market's shock. The pullback to $1.70 is the argument. The initial shock is over, and now traders are trying to figure out what this company is actually worth. Is this a $2 stock? Is it a $5 stock? Those old analyst targets suddenly don't seem so crazy. The company has a story again. This is a story that's far more compelling than just hoping for a recovery in the enterprise Wi-Fi market. This is a brand new, high-growth vertical. Think about the implications for different types of investors. If you're a long-term holder who bought this in a Fidelity IRA years ago and just watched it collapse, today is a miracle. You were saved from a total loss, but you're not buying it today, you're just relieved. If you're a day trader, you're looking at the volatility between $1.58 and $2.45 on your Fidelity mobile app and seeing a pure momentum play. But the real story is bigger. This isn't a short-term trade. This is a fundamental reevaluation. For someone new to online investment, this is a critical lesson. You can't just buy a stock because it's up 170%. You're too late for that. The real question, the one that requires investment help or serious self-investing research, is what happens next. The Fidelity trading platform or an interactive broker's account would show you the massive volume, the order book churn, and the battle being fought between the old holders taking profits and the new believers buying in, convinced this is the next big thing. This isn't like buying Apple stock for its stability or Nvidia stock for its clear dominance in AI. This is a high-risk, high-reward turnaround play that has just been given a massive, unexpected catalyst. So, let's talk about that future outlook. The expectation was delisting. The reality is a strategic partnership. But what are the risks? First, how much revenue will this actually generate? The press release is fantastic, but now Cambium has to execute. It has to sell this solution to service providers, businesses, and school districts. The sales cycle for these enterprise solutions is long. Second, is this exclusive? Or will Starlink partner with all of Cambium's competitors too, diluting this first-mover advantage? For now, Cambium is the one with the deep integration, and that matters. The opportunity is that Cambium can now get a meeting with any organization that is looking at Starlink for connectivity. It's a powerful foot in the door that it has not had in years. This might be the investment thesis that finally works. The company no longer has to compete head-to-head with giants on its old turf. It has created a new, valuable niche for itself. For anyone using SoFi Invest or Robinhood Investments and looking for speculative plays, this one just became infinitely more legitimate than it was 24 hours ago, although the risk remains extremely high. It's not a place to park your retirement savings, but it's now a story that Fidelity mutual funds specializing in small-cap turnarounds might actually start to examine. This is a fascinating case study. Were you one of the investors holding Cambium Networks through this painful decline, or did you just see this 170% pop on your scanner this morning? Comment below what your first reaction was when you saw this news. To summarize, we are watching a stock that has been pulled back from the brink. The market expectation was that Cambium was a forgotten, failing company in a competitive sector destined for a 023 grave. The reality delivered today is that the company has cleverly and quietly secured a highly strategic partnership with Starlink, making its technology suddenly relevant and valuable in one of the fastest-growing areas of telecommunications. The massive stock price jump is just the market catching up to this new reality in a single, violent session. The game is no longer about survival, it's about execution. The gap between that old expectation and this new reality is where all of today's 170% gain was made. Disclaimer: this video is made only for educational and informational purposes. I am not a financial advisor. Any stock, crypto, or investment discussed here is not financial advice. Please do your own research or consult a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Invest responsibly.